All right, so I'm out here with David in the new neighborhood. I'm going to use this different aspect. It's not going to be the same part. I might have to switch around with David. So what I'm going to do is, David hasn't been here before. Well, he was over here on this side once, and so this is the first time David has been here. So you can see his frantic behavior that's occurring. As you see the back end, the behavior that he has. See how his physical structure. Hi, silly boy. So he looks over to me for affection, right? He looks over to me, and thank you. Yeah, and he looks over to me for affection, and by allowing David to understand that I'm watching him, he knows what's going on. So you see the frantic behavior that happens. So we see him trying to look all over the place. So he comes back to me. So now he wants to be feel safe. So I'm going to just give him a hug. You can check out his ear here. Here, silly boy. There you go. See his paw position. So that paw position moving, right? The physical gait is reflective, physiological reflection, just like a human being shifting. Hi, silly boy. You're okay. So it's like a human being shifting, and when they're unsure, unhappy, there's going to be a little bit of nervousness that's going to happen, and there's a bit of trepidation that's going to be evocated through the dog's behavior, right? See how David is in the back end, how he's nervous? See that shaking part in his body? See how he's tentatively walking? See how there's a physicality in him in the front left and the front right and the back right paws? There's a little bit of nervousness that's going on. There's prey, so there's a rabbit went by. So David, you're okay. So you can see now he's got the urgency in regards to prey, right? So we're just going to hold on to the lead. Retractables are excellent. If you know what you're doing, a retractable leash is excellent. It's a reciprocal item, mechanically superior than trying to bring a drag line, 20-foot drag line back, and it allows me to be able to work with David reciprocally at any time. That's it. The only people, let me get this on this part here. The only people that complain about retractable leashes are the people who don't know, the professionals who don't know how to use it. If you practice on a regular basis, then you can be able to really easily pull in the lead link. David is almost 200 pounds. I do that with David. I do it with other dogs who are extremely dangerous, skittish. They're always on a retractable leash because it allows me to have reciprocal input at all times. He is allowed to have a perimeter, a territory, an area for him to circulate. It's always within the 26-foot range, which is what the length of this is, 8 meters, 26 feet. It allows David to participate on his own. If I need to call David in, I just pull in the retractable like this. Watch. David, slow down, please. Thank you. And then there's it. And if he gets too far, that's it. And he's immediately able to cogently structure what he's thinking about, because the retractable is not being oppressive to him. If you know what you're doing, and you just got to practice it a lot, don't listen to those silly trainers and behaviors that say don't use the retractable. They obviously can't deal with the dogs I deal with, nor do they have the coordination to be able to do that. So for them to, as a professional, to go and tell you don't know what you're doing, that's a problem. So there's Dave. Hi, silly boy. See how he watches me? So he looks at me. So I'm going to just squat down a bit. And then when I squat down, he feels like everything's okay. So the anxiety picks up in his eyes. You see that? He looks to the left-hand side. There he goes. Peripheral aspect of behavior. So again, that's a part for him to shake it out. So we want David to understand that he's okay. So I'm going to come up to David. I'm just going to touch him. You're okay. Hi, silly boy. That's it. Hi, silly boy. One of the biggest things that you have to remember is I have to figure out how to be able to touch David from the first time I met him, where he was trying to attack me. It took me 2 hours to get into my little car to be able to get David to allow me to be in my car, and he was muzzled. So he's trying to go at me. It takes me 2 hours to get him home. And then not only do I have to integrate him with the other dogs, I have to also pretend that I'm not scared of him. So he was on 750 milligrams of trazodone and 80 milligrams of Prozac, has 16 bites on him. He's almost 200 pounds, 3 feet, 2 inches at the shoulders. He's got significant issues, dogs and people, obviously. He's fine with people now, been a lot of integration. But now we're watching, see how his behavior is? He becomes a little bit staggered. See how he kind of pulls backwards all the time to look to see where I am? So I do this. David, you're okay. So that part was him looking for me. That was him looking for reciprocal feedback. Hi, silly boy. You see that? There it is again. He's cognizant of how the leash is moving at all times. David, slow down, please. So he knows the lead length. So he walks in a circle because he's cognizant. And if he pulls himself out, I'm just going to make an adjustment. But he's walking cognizant. He's aware of where he is. So he stops. He wants a hug. That's what his body language is. So I'm going to give him a hug. Watch the paw position on the ground. See how it's a bit staggered now? So I'm going to be straight to the foot. That's how his foot is. It's a little bit staggered. He's got big feet, obviously. And I'm just going to hold him. You can hear the breathing pattern. You hear that breathing pattern. Psychosomatic structure of behavior as he's trying to cogently process. He's going to yawn in a little bit if I change my tone. You're okay, David. There you go. So he changes his yawn. Hi, silly boy. You're okay. You're okay. So that's how you can read dog behavior, by watching the psychosomatic structures of the templates, or reflective of the cogency of what the dog is abstract processing, aka consciousness. You can quantify sentience, you can quantify consciousness. Don't listen to those eggheads over at Templeton University. They're dumb. They don't have the comprehension. They can't deal with dogs like this. Temple Grandin and all these people are silly. They don't have a comprehension of what's going on with the dogs, right? So I'm changing tone. See how David's now becoming a bit more frantic? And the reason why, so we take into the environmental considerations. I'm talking very fast to throw him off. We look at the environmental, he's looking at the dog way down there. So the environmental circumstances, what is it? Well, we have a wildlife corridor right here leading up to the school. We have a exposure over here in the back. What does he do? He hides. So you see that? He hides. And being able to use the retractable allows me to have, and allow David to have the lateral aspect of being able to move over wherever he wants, so that I can see any of the hiding behaviors. If I'm keeping him on a 6-foot lead, there's no way he can express himself naturally. There's no way that David can express himself naturally if he is on a 6-foot lead. There's no way that I can read David's behavior if he's on a 6-foot lead. When he has anxieties and issues such as, you know, oh my gosh, I'm in a new place, it's an expansive aspect for him. For a dog that has a sheltered life, because of course when a dog is dangerous, they're going to be kept home, kept indoors. So we see David walking around here, and as he looks back to me, right, same thing like the yawning. David, you're okay, right? So he wonders why I stopped him. So what I did is I let him pull a little bit. You're okay, David. You're okay. So that's not an aspect of territorial possession whatsoever. That's an insecurity right? It's a reflection of his insecurity. So what he does is he doesn't identify the property. He doesn't identify it. What he does is he leaves himself there. Ego-driven behavior. Was I here before? I don't want to feel nervous, because what happens is if he's been in this area before, he leaves his urine on here, and then next time he comes back here, he goes, oh, I've been here before. I'm okay. So it allows the dog to build self-confidence in that aspect, and ego-driven behavior. David, no, please. So he wants to go up into the trail. So we watch his behavior as dropped up and down. See his tail behavior as it swings up and down and goes back and forth. That's a processing aspect of cognition. How he is processing his stimulations, what's going through his head, what he is thinking about. The tail behavior, there it is again. Because I brought up the TA word, as when I said tail, the tail came up because he was receptive to what I was hearing, because he is cogently listening to me. See how he started and ran a little bit quicker in that end? And why? Because he wanted attention. So if I squat down, David, so I'm just going to hold me, David, you're okay, silly boy. So we want him to self-soothe, self-regulate. David, you're okay, silly boy. You're okay. So I'm going to give tone like I did yesterday. Right? You saw yesterday's session, a very angry dog. Him and Minky. So how do we help him feel safe? We let him know he's okay. Now he slows down because I'm not moving anywhere. There's a lady walking over here. There's a dog over there. There's a dog over here. David has issues. And you see the hackles on his back end there? Those hackles, front and back, peeler erection, it's psychosomatic reflection of how the dog is processing their sense of ego, what is centering to them. It doesn't mean that the dog's angry. It doesn't mean the dog's fearful. Those kinds of things are absolutely silly. Because again, if the fur is sticking up, what is that 1/4 inch going to do for another dog on the other side watching that's already angry at your dog? Nothing. It's psychosomatic. That's it. Oh, sorry, I'm looking on the wrong side. It's psychosomatic. That's it. The hackles, all that processing, full peeler erection. One of my former clients said full mohawk. See, and the tone is still a little bit sharp, and I'm talking on the right-hand side of my face on purpose, so that way it doesn't bounce the sound to him. So I want to be able to direct things away from David at all times. So even if he's on a different room or somewhere, and I've seen him way back here, and I'm over here, and there's like a wall there, I will turn and I'll talk like this, or I'll talk like that, so that the sound bounces towards the direction, so he has a cognition of a targeting point, creates a cogent dog, so he's able to process what's going on. If you do all these things that I'm talking about, you're going to find yourselves cogently structured. You're going to start noticing things in other people that you may or may not like, but you'll be able to destructure their behavior because you're watching animal behavior, nonverbal fluency. Then you bring that skill over to you, and then you figure it out. There he is again, safety, right? So I'm just going to touch him. Hi, silly boy. You're okay. You're okay, David. That's it, right? Some people would say keep your hands closed, etc., because of the familiarity of the work. See, he went to pull off a bit, and he didn't want to leave my hand because what he wanted to do was to pull me with him. So when you walk with your dog and your dog immediately pulls you, it's an anxiety-driven issue out of insecurity, codependency, interdependency, blah, 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 blah. And then what happens, he turns away because that dog is coming towards us. You can barely see the dog. You see how he hides? He's afraid. David, you're okay. You're okay. Come here. Give me a hug, please. So he doesn't want to come over. David, come here, please. Cogency structure right there. David, come here, please. See the back end, the front end on the tail, the physical gait structure. David, you're okay. So he looked at me overtly, then looked up and over my head to my right-hand side on purpose as an obstruction. Hi, silly boy. Give me a hug, silly boy. So I'm going to go on the side that he's afraid. So you see this process? What did he do? He cogently came over to me. David came over to me thinking to himself, I feel nervous. I feel scared. I need help from my human. Just like I said yesterday, we do everything for our dogs. We feed them, we cuddle them, we take care of them and everything. And then the one time when they need us to help them, when like if I did that to David right now and pushed him away and said, dog, you're scared, man up, dog up, he'd become a more dangerous dog. So don't listen to those alpha people. Hi, silly boy. See his paw position? He will become a dangerous dog. So I deal with the dangerous dogs. It doesn't matter who you talk to. Anyone who says, oh, I deal with dangerous dogs, I'm going to say, buddy, okay, no treats, no medication, just work with your dog by yourself. Nothing at all, just a regular collar and leash. They can't do it because they don't understand what they're looking at. Dr. Ian Dunbar, Dr. Rebecca Ledger, their complete miscomprehension has really hampered dog behavior. So I'm going to keep going on here. See how David's looking back at that dog there? It's that tiny little dog. David, stop, please. So he's worried. Now he goes over there because he thinks we're going up to that dog. See his behavior, how its haunches on, and he's become straight in the back end. See how he's become straight in the back end because he's concerned. David, so I'm going to re-engage with him. David, 26 feet. I have the lead line. David, right? David, there's a little bit of a tug. David, right? There he's concerned. David. So now he's pulling on the weight, right? So 200 pounds. What do? David, because he understands the lead length. David, so we're holding onto the lead as he circles down on himself on purpose, and he comes in. I'm going to bring him in for affection, so he's afraid. There he goes. Hi, silly boy. The paw position on my foot. Codependent structure on behavior relative to David's personality uniquely. So everything I talk about, there you go. See the paw position? So everything that happens makes the dog feel safe. If we let them know that when they need us the most, see that? You're okay. He wants me to basically hold on to him. So there we go. You're okay, silly boy. Because the dog is right behind him. Right behind there. You can hear his breathing pattern. You're okay, silly boy. I'm going to just shift and be quiet for a bit, just so I can talk to David. You're okay. You're okay, silly boy. You're okay. You're okay. I got you, silly boy. You're okay, silly boy. Hi, David. Here comes a yawn. Hi, silly boy, right? So when she starts that cognitive shift, there it is, cogency structure, he's trying to fight it. You're okay, David. Hi, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. Good job. Foot structure. There he goes. He's trying to get it through his jawline. He's not able to process because it's a complex emotion. There it is. He's now salivating. He's moving his feet all over the place now. You're okay, because the people and the dog are still visible to him. Excellent eyesight. You're okay. But then it comes to a point where they now disappear from the area, and then what happens? See how calm he is? Then what ends up happening, he's going to look over at the dog on purpose. Watch, there he goes. Peripheral vision to... See how he stuttered just now? See how David tripped just now? That's an emotional process. The reason David tripped is an emotional process because he is no longer allowing his physical instinct, his behavior to naturally walk, his gait. What's happened is he's cogently aware of his physical procedures, his protocols where he's walking, and so he is nervous, so he's unable to process what's going on. So like a human being that gets nervous and fidgets and drops something, so does David because he's unfamiliar with the level of cogency that it is a circumstantial exposure. He is learning process, just like how dogs process pain in a redundant and rhetorical format as well. And you guys follow me, you understand how that process goes. If you understand how a dog behaves, right at the root psychology, you can do exactly what I can do, which is to downtrain the most extremely dangerous dogs that have attacked 16 people, have tried to kill shelter work, have dragged people off couches, all that stuff to kill them. There's no prevarication. Just Google BC Dog Whisperer. You can watch my videos, etc. And what I'm saying is, you see me predicting behavior of dogs before it happens. You see me working with Gordon, the disabled Bulldog. you'll see me working with Gordon, the disabled Bulldog, who has Dandy Walker's disease, and I'm processing his behavior at 1/2 of 1/10 of a second, and you'll see the adjustments for him in literally 1 hour and 10 minutes. No one in the world can do this, and that's a guarantee. And hi, silly boy, you're okay, David. Right? So to be able to have him go this close to me, you know, everyone who knows who David is knows his history. This is pretty scary in the beginning. And again, in the beginning, he's come after me significantly. So it's a trust issue, right? The behaviors, all that aspect. You're okay, David. So he wants to go. Hi, silly boy. So I'm going to touch base with him. So it's a comprehension of what's going on with dogs is what helps you. So, okay, Stacy, you said, why do dogs use blankets and pillows as pacifiers? My Dane does this. So what that is that means that your dog has a high codependency about him. His inability to process emotions because you're giving him too much emotion is not the bad thing. It's because he doesn't understand it. So what happened is you've been coddling and providing him comfort and enabling the structure of emotions where he hasn't been able to fully flesh it out and self-soothe. He's unable to self-regulate. He has no familiarity. Just like I said the other day, see, he's still pacing. So I'm going to come over here. Just like I said the other day, if I went bungee jumping and I'm afraid of heights, first thing is I'm going to look at the noise where it came out. So stop, please. So if I went bungee jumping, the first thing I'm going to do is worry that I'm going to die and then that the cord is going to break. I don't care about anything else. I'm going to die. I'm going to fall off. Something's going to happen. Second time, I'm going to be afraid of dying, but not too worried about the cord breaking. He's just shifted 2 feet. One in the left front, one in the back right. And then what ends up happening is the third time I go bungee jumping, I'm going to be like, okay, it's fun. I just hope I don't die. So I've already learned the experiences of a behavior that I myself have already said, no way, I'm completely scared. If somebody asked me, hey, you want to go bungee jumping? I would say right now, no. But if I learned that experience and knew there was a double safe aspect to be protected, I could do it again and again and again. So here we go with David. We're going to walk across the lawn. How he wanders back and forth. What he wants to do is subconsciously is to go home. So we're in an open exposure. So see how he starts to get a little bit more frantic, starts to wander around back and forth. See the tail behavior on the back right hip? You can see him starting to stutter his behavior on the back right leg. So we'll watch the back right leg. You'll see how it's kind of clamped up a bit. He's holding it inside of him. Normally he doesn't walk like that. See how he's dropped it just there again? So you want to look at the whole body of what your dog is doing at all times. You do not want to take your eyes off of your dog if your dog is dysfunctional. If your dog is dangerous, if there's a 1% chance that there's a problem that your dog can do something, you have to be. There he is, tripped again. You have to be 99% vigilant. David. So you saw that when I was standing here, I wasn't moving. He looked at me and he saw the look in my face because I happened to be looking at the camera on the video here. And so what David then thought, hi silly boy, was he was in trouble because I was looking at him, but by coincidence, I was looking at this camera. So he thought I was looking at him. He went like that. He got a little bit nervous. And you saw him stutter as he moved forward. Emotional processing. If you go in here, a vet or somebody says to you that your dog has issues, your dog is coughing when you walk him on leash and all that stuff, don't spend the money. It is a cogent structure on your dog to be able to strategize to figure out what works and doesn't work with you. So if one thing doesn't work, I'm going to try the next one. And I'm going to try the next one. And I'm going to try the next one. And if it doesn't work the next time, I'm going to keep trying different structures that have always worked with you in the past. If you're walking with your dog and they're just starting to cough because, you know, they're doing the dramatics, what do? You're like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Why are you coughing? And immediately you're right there and trapped. Because then you create a structure that your dog can't protect himself from, which is codependency. It's interdependency. Because then it becomes unhealthy. Hello, silly boy. Hello, silly boy. So when David started to see, he wants to leave. David, stop, please. Hi, silly boy. So we have a guy on a bike, so that scared David now. See that? He's afraid of the guy on the bike. See how he goes the other direction now? And when the guy's gone, he'll come back and look at me. There he is. See that? David. Hi, silly boy. So he looks back at me. He's watching where the guy is now. So you see the avoidance on his end. So he's afraid of people. So now he's getting a little bit nervous. He probably wants to source out some water. So I'm going to take him home. I'm going to get him into the vehicle. I'm going to take him home. And I'm going to tell you one thing what I do when I walk, talk, drive with my dog. So he's pulling right now. So we see this behavior as he's pulling. So you see that part? I'm just going to give him a little bit just to pull him back. I'm not going to fight with him. There's no need to. Absolutely no need to fight with your dog on lead. No need. Right? You have silly trainers and behaviors that say, don't let your dog dominate you on leash. Wow. This is dominant leash control. Retractable, whatever. Physical dominance, we have no matter what. We have all the power in the world. We do not need to wield it like we're jerks. Don't forget, if your dog is like 20 pounds and you got to pull your 20-pound dog, you don't want to put them off their feet. It would be the same thing as if someone came up to you and picked you up off the ground. I'm almost 200 pounds, 5'11". If someone picked I would be very scared. I would be now looking at the person who is supposed to be taking care of me and feeding me and loving me, who just picked me up when there's something dangerous happening and now threw me off guard. Why did you pull me off my feet? What's going on? It's not a natural position for your dog, on all fours. So that structure happens when then the dog doesn't understand the cogency. It becomes limited in his level of experience or her level of experience. They're not able to process. It doesn't matter what kind of dog. Pit bulls are so misaligned. There's such really beautiful dogs. It's those idiots that have the small insecurities about them that need the look of that muscular aspect of it. The reality is every dog has the same type of behavior. It's a psychological template. To me, it's all the same behavior. There's a structure that comes from the extreme. See, so David's a bit nervous. Hi, silly boy, you're okay. See the guy over there standing there with his shirt off, and I don't know. So anyways, he's nervous. So we see that part. So he won't move his feet because he wants me to pick him up. He's going to come towards me if I don't do it in a bit, because that's cogency structure. So he's watching, he's giving me hints, he's making overt behaviors on purpose. It's over. See that? Here he comes. Okay, stop, please. So I'm literally predicting his behavior. I'm literally doing what no one in the world can do. And it's not because I'm brilliant or whatever. I'm not, right? It's because I'm recognizing the same sentient structures that he does all the time. I'm quantifying his consciousness. I'm recognizing his ego-driven behavior. The Templeton University people, the academics, Rebecca Ledger, they're fools. They are killing your dogs out of their ineptitude. How did I predict behavior of David? Constantly, real time, because I'm paying attention to what he's doing. And you go, whoa, wow, that's pretty cool. No, it's not. How many times have you been able to finish your friend's sentence while they're talking? And then you mock them at the same time. They're like, stop it. How did you do that? How did you do that with someone who has a comprehension that is conceptual and fantastical and constructed? How are you able to interpret what your friend is about to say and finish their sentences just to irritate them? Because of your predator instinct. Your predator, see, he's hiding from people now. He's literally hiding from people. See that? He's hiding from people. These are the structures. You would never be able to do that without a retractable, because he would be right here and he'd be coming around and wrapping me, and I'd be like, well, I don't know what he's doing. See, he's watching them. They're coming around the corner. David, you're okay. He looks to see if I'm all right. So he wants to see if he's safe or not. See, watch his feet. Watch his front right and left paw. His right paw. David, you're okay. I'm going to talk to him. See, his tail behavior started to work when they come by. David, you're okay. You're okay, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. There goes the tail. Hi, silly boy. See his front left paw? He doesn't want to move. David, you're okay. You're okay. Hi, silly boy. Now that the danger is gone. Hi, silly boy. You're okay. Hi, silly boy, David. Hello, silly boy. So he called me over for me to give him some affection. See the tail? Wait, please. Stop, please. So I shift my tone with him very, very quickly. So we can see this paw behavior. Let me just switch this around. See, he's so nervous. He's so nervous. See the paw position? He can't set himself. See, it's staggered in the back. See, he moved it again here. So see, he felt me move. He moved his left foot. That's cogency. Again, when he trips, all that stuff is cogency. See his front left and front right paws? Starts to get nervous because he's paying attention to himself. Hello, silly boy. You're okay. You're okay. Let's just see if I can get his face in. You're okay. So you guys saw yesterday when David and Miki were about to attack each other. Sorry, I thought I was talking to you. I can't see the light shining in here. So you saw yesterday where David and Miki were about to attack each other. You watch that video. You see the behavior. What did I do? I gave David a hug. Normally I would do the other issues with the other dogs, but it was kind of a dynamic and I was running out of time. Sorry, but so here he is. We're going to show him what he's doing. I'm going to show what he's doing. See how he's trying to stagger on the back? See how he's making more pronounced movements now? David, slow down, please. He's making more pronounced movements. See how he drops down when he walks? You're okay, David. So he's making shifts in how he's feeling. David, you're okay. Here are the voices out there, some kids out there, so he got scared. He literally put himself back. By coincidence, I was saying his name, because I'm saying his name always. See how he's now starting to pull and get strained on the lead? Right? And no, David. Thank you. That's it. Thank you, silly boy. I'm not pulling him hard. I'm just giving him just enough weight. He's 200 pounds. I could totally overdo it. I could totally yank on him and totally just try to show how alpha I am, how muscular, manly I am, but it doesn't help David. It makes David become even more afraid of me because then I start oppressing him because he's my hostage. I feed him, I let him in and out. He sleeps on the bed or on the, gets a blanket on him. All the dogs are fed the same way, treated the same way. Oh, so here he is. He's a little bit nervous now. You can see him trying to get a little bit more animated. Watch him. He's look. Hi, David. He's checking in. He's looking at the voices over there. Hi, silly boy. He wants to go over the voices now because, see, you want to go over there is what he wants to do. And so I go, all right, let's go, silly boy. Okay, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. So I'm going to stop him. David, stop. Give me a hug. Stop. David, stop, please. And I'm still walking towards him. Thank you, David. Give me a hug. So he understands cogency there. So he understands the word stop. So the dogs that I teach are the cogency structures to be able to process the word stop in a contextual format. So the word stop doesn't mean that stop as per se. The word means stop as a contextualized definitives throughout the whole aspects of definitions and within. So that, you know, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop running around, stop where you are, etc. It takes a lot of work. So now there's geese. Oh, there's geese up there. So he's going to get, oh, sorry. There's geese up there, so he's going to get scared. So he's running away. You see that? David, stop. Stop. And there's a rabbit over there. Hi, David. Stop, please. So he's going to be afraid of these geese. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to hold him. You're okay, David. As the geese fly over, I'm going to look at where the geese are coming from. You're okay, David. And I'm going to track the geese for him. You see how he's looking when I track? You're okay, David. And then I'm going to look over there because he's looking over there to see if there's any more geese. Hi, silly boy. You're okay. Watch his paw positions. Perfect. Because he was expecting me to protect him. Hi, silly boy. You're okay, David. You're okay. You're okay, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. You're okay. There you go, silly boy. So he hears a noise and the kid's out there still. So it's really important that you pay attention to your dog. Watch what they're doing at all times. So he's trying to pull me, so I'm not going to let him pull me. Right, then I'm going to let it go. There you go. So you understand. Hi, silly boy. He thinks he's in trouble. Hi, silly boy. So what I do then is I complete that loop, right? I finish the request. Basically, when he pulls, I'm going to pull him back. Where he's pulling on me right now. Where you see that? So I'm going to pull him back here. I'm going to go, David, not funny. Thank you, David. He sneezes because it's a higher level of cognitive dissonance, dissipation. It's a different process, it's a different structure he's been in. He's actually looking for prey, as you saw. He was able to control himself. And when he has now the opportunity to smell, he's like, wow, I want to. Because you let me do it the other way and I didn't get in trouble. So then I have to always see, now he's moving his back leg. Hi, silly. I'm going to just adjust him. Hi, silly boy. We're going to go back home, silly. So now he's gone this way. He wants to look for that rabbit, right? So we'll just get a little bit of a thing. So watch this. We're going to work him on the LETS GO structure. David, and I'm going to give him time to cogently process. David, see, he paused to hear me. You saw that. David, let's go, please. David, let's go. Right? So urine, right? Nervous. Hi, silly boy. Unfamiliar area. Unfamiliar in circumstance. There's prey. See how slow and calm he is? Hi, silly boy. Because now he knows we're going back to the car. Hi, silly boy. He looks over at me. This way, David. David. Hi, silly boy. So then I match pace with him so he knows that he's okay. Hello, silly boy. Hi, David. As he looks back to me, I'm going to always, hi, silly boy. He looks on the other side. So that's, hi, silly boy. So he's nervous again. Stop, please. Stop, please. You're okay. See how he looks at me? He's worried because he doesn't know what's happening. Why is this lady walking for the third time around? He does not understand. So he has seen the same woman go the same direction without returning. So now he has cogently went, this doesn't make sense. Now I'm nervous. Hi, silly boy. So I'm going to put him on my foot on purpose. You're okay. You're okay, silly boy. You're okay. So you hear the breathing pattern? You're okay, David. Hi, silly boy. So I'm going to have to put more weight on I'm going to have to pick him up a bit more. So I'm going to have to pick him up about 80 pounds off of his weight. You're okay, silly boy. Because what's happening is, you see all the nervousness and the faltering when he's walking? That's indicative of his body becoming stressed out, right? We get weak-kneed. Hi, silly boy. And there he is, casual. David, let's go. Go left. Thank you, silly boy. So then whenever he's moving somewhere, I'm going to take advantage in motion training. And he wants a hug again. Stop, please. So that's exactly what he did. He wanted a hug. That's what he wanted. So nonverbal fluency, I'm going to say, absolutely, I'm going to give you the attention, because non-verbally, you ask for it because that's how you talk. So the back end just moved over into me a bit more now as he feels more safe. And the other reason is because we're going home. So that same feeling you get whenever you have to use the bathroom, you run home as fast as you can. That's what's happening for David. See the casualness? Hi, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. He purposely walked in front of me. Hi, silly boy. Stop, please. And see how easy it was for David to come to me? So that's nonverbal. So what I did to David is I heard you. My nonverbal fluency with you is there. Hi, silly boy. You're okay. Yawn time soon? Hi, silly boy. Right, the cognition. There's a process coming through. He's trying to fight it again. He's worried about, hi, silly boy. So if I go on the other side, he'll yawn. Wait, stop, please. So you're going to ask me, why is he going to yawn if I'm on the other side? It's not a completion aspect of behavior. It's a cognition aspect of behavior. Hi, silly boy. So I'm just going to hold up with him for a bit. I'm going to drop this lead and just put my foot on. I thought I'd stop it. Sorry, David. You're okay. Stop, please. So he thinks we're walking, so that's my fault. So I'm just going to put this out on the ground. I'm going to stand on it. So now I don't have anything in my hands. Silly boy, you're okay. I got you, silly boy. So then we're going to watch his behavior here. You're okay, David. I'm not waiting for him to yawn. If he does, right? So there's that tongue coming out. If he does, then it's only because he's doing it. So there's no pressure. Hi, silly boy. You're okay, David. Hi. You're okay, silly boy. You're okay, David. So he's fighting the yawn. See that? So that's cognitive aspect. He's trying to dissipate the stress in his jaw. His paw's moving like crazy. See how close it is? See how he's shaking and nervous? Cogency structure. Template of consciousness. Very easy to recognize. And if you guys get a chance, try to leave a comment, please, or share what I'm doing so we can save lives for free. On top of that, as well, if you leave a comment, then people can read and go, oh, wow, actually, this was interesting. So, David, you're okay. Hi, silly boy. Now he wants to yawn. Watch. He's slowly getting to it. See how he's opening up more? Hi, silly boy. You're okay. You're okay. Hi, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. So if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Hugs are free. There he goes. Hi, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. So when I release this thing so it doesn't snap back into him, I'm going to hold this one side with my hand. And I'm just going to relax it. Then I'm going to let it go. It doesn't snap back in his head. Right, that quick motion, a lot of people go, oh, it snaps too hard on my dog. The other part where it says, oh, well, it breaks all the time. Well, it doesn't break if you don't let it run out to the end. It's only a little metal piece that's trying to hold back a 200-pound dog, for example. Digging power is like 3 times the dog's body weight because they have 4x4, they're low to the ground. Hello, silly boy. So he looked at the blue mask there. So that's his field of vision processing. He looks to the right-hand side. He doesn't have to look as much because he knows that there's no longer any dogs or threats around him. David, hi, silly boy. See, he looked at me. Hi, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. He's gone into a different surface now. Wait, please. So this is a different surface for him. So I'm going to help him feel okay walking and being into a different surface because now he's going to the area that he's not used to, which is this different ground. Hi, silly boy. There you go, silly boy. Hello, silly boy. So then when I'm encouraging and changing tone with them as well, normally if I was alone with them, I wouldn't be talking that much other than what was relevant and consistent for Dave. Hi, silly boy. So the wandering on purpose, different on the grass in here because we're heading home. It's the last stretch. Hi, silly boy. He's going to start coming over to me in a little bit. It's just a natural behavior. See how he starts to make more more pronounced behaviors? He speeds up. He looks again. Okay, David, stop, please. So I'm going to go on the other side. And what did he want? He wanted a hug. That's why he turned over in a circle. And he turned over in a circle. See his, oh, sorry, I should show you his paw. He turned over in a circle because he was waiting for me to, oh, sorry, guys, let me do this here. Thank you, Jackie. So he turned over to a circle. If you watch it, he turned over to a circle because what he did was he made his behavior more pronounced. In other words, you know when you're trying to wake up your partner, hello honey, doesn't wake up, what do? Hi honey, you start bugging her or him, right? You're like, hi honey. Exactly. So what he's doing is David is circling around to make sure that I'm paying attention to him because he's in an area where he is relying on me 100%. Hi David, you're okay, silly boy. Right? See back end, everything changes now. Psychosomatic. Hi silly boy David. He's getting worried. He wants to go over there. So I'm going to go over there because he's asking me to. Even if he was in a bad situation, he caused some issues, I'm still going to cater to what he's asking cogently because it's a reasonable request. He's only behaving as a dog can behave. He speeds up now. You see that? David, slow down, please. Looks back at me. Cogency. Right? That's an ego-driven behavior. If he understands what he's doing, ego-driven, it's not a problem at all. Because then he has the ability to communicate non-verbally with me, which means then he says, okay, I can trust you. So he's there. So, wait, David, you're okay. You're okay. So, no, actually, so now there's a dump truck. David, you're okay. So we can see how David's nervous now. By the dump truck. See how he avoids watching the dump truck? So I'm going to stop him. He came right to me because he was afraid of the dump truck. That's what you got to look for. Because in your dog's world, there's no such thing as cars or dump trucks. There's no, hi, silly boy. There's no such thing as dump trucks. There's no such thing as bicycles. There's no such thing as anything. All there is the concern of the inability to process what the dog is seeing. Right? It's a cogency structure, right? If the dog is not familiar with an environment, he's going to behave unfamiliar, which is how do I protect myself? I'm going to be vicious. That's the only way I know, because there's a predatory aspect of, of survival. So what ends up happening then is we got to feed into what his behavior is, so we create that healthy codependency. We have to feed into what, look at his paw. Hi David. So hi silly boy. So he paused because he saw the people. He went, okay, oh my gosh, what's going on? So let me just bring him up here. I'm gonna bring him into the car as well. So now he's concerned about all the traffic. What he's doing is he's trying to make sure that I'm watching out for him. See, I move forward, he's gonna move forward. Hello, silly boy. And that's codependency, right? And again, what is codependency? Codependency is a conscious behavior. If you don't understand consciousness, you're not going to be able to understand dog behavior. So there's a thing coming by. He's nervous. You're okay. He's starting to run away. I got you, silly boy. I got you, silly boy. I got you, silly boy. You're okay, David. So it's a lot for him. Hi, silly boy. Okay, let's go this way, please. David, let's go this way, please. So I'm giving him a hug. I don't care who's watching. Because if I make it a point where I'm worried about my end, I'm never going to help my dog trust me. If I'm too worried about what somebody else is looking at, which is me with his dog that I'm giving a hug, so what? Because I'll see them again and again. But the reality, well, probably not, but the reality is, so what? It made David feel safe. Look how slow he is. Casually hanging out. There's my little car. It's covered in green moss from where I rent this horribly shady home. I mean, the home is shady, but David, come please. So we're going to give cogency. David, come please. He's usually on the left-hand side, so he doesn't understand. So you see that structure? He doesn't understand why. So we're going to put him on here. All right, as it's covered in moss. Wait, David. Wait, David. So I'm going to let him know what I'm doing. If I make a mistake, I'm going to let him know what I'm doing. Wait, please. Wait, please. Wait, please. So so what I'm doing is I'm going to let David wait for a bit before he goes in so that he can come out. Okay, go in, please. Oh, okay, you want me to, let me actually, okay, silly boy. So we're going to bring him in. David, come please. Let's take off your leash, please. So he doesn't know how to turn around. Okay, David, you're okay, silly boy. So he doesn't know how to turn around. Hi, silly boy. So what I'll tell you is that that's probably one of the most frightening things I've ever had to do with David. And that frightening thing is being able to take his collar off inside this vehicle because he's attacked me a few times. He's bitten me and stuff like that. So then I'm like, okay, I have to pretend the next time that I interact with David that I'm not scared. And it's really tough to do. You hear I'm out of breath. All these things are turning on the air. At the end of the day, hi David, you're okay. At the end of the day, I'm going to make him feel safe. does not matter what, because I am his hostage keeper. So let's put that as a blatant description, right? I don't want to, I have to be technical. I can't be, simplistic like everybody else. Stockholm syndrome, right? That oppressive aspect of being able to control everything that is being done for you in your life, right? Someone's doing that. So we're doing that for our dogs in a beautiful, loving way, of course, very kind, etc. But that is still the psychology that's been processed through, and that's what he understands. If David doesn't have the ability to process different structures of emotionality, then David goes, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. Yeah, dude, I'm working on it. I'm going to kind of shift, because this is kind of boring for you guys. But so you guys, how many people know about the big guy that scammed me? How many people know about that? That Anthony T. Leonard. You can Google him and you'll find out that he's been scamming people since 2013 in the multi-millions. And he is facing 22 charges of wire fraud, 1 charge of money laundering. And he was introduced to me by Bobby Jo at Tales of Freedom Canine Rescue. I don't know why she's supporting him. I don't know why she has him fundraising for her. I don't know why. I don't know why. The proof is there. The Justice Department information is there. It's all there. I don't know why she's defending him. So there's that part that really, she's destroying her whole rescue to defend a guy credibly accused with prolific fraud of manipulating people, and she has him fundraising for her. And what the whole situation is she's overwhelmed and deluded by his grandeur, his alleged wealth. So then she goes, okay, this is really cool. I love, he's doing all this stuff for me and all this stuff, and he's helping fundraise. She's not realizing that he's phoning people, oh yeah, fundraise, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, he's gonna call them back in the future and go, hey, you know what, I got this project I want you to see if you wanna invest in, because he's contacting CEOs. So he's using her rescue, sorry about the wind there, he's using her rescue to back up his potential whatever. And what he was doing on my end, he was supposed to be going out and soliciting stuff and academics to invest in my company. So those of you who know, I'm really quite introverted, so I don't really talk about things. But those of you who've been following me, Zach Scow from Marley's Mutts. He was up here in like 2018. He runs an award-winning prison inmate program in California, as well as he's actually helped craft federal law, animal welfare law in the United States, and he has literally met the President of the United States. So Zach was here, you're right, people know that. I was just sharing some stuff with some people regards to something else that I'm doing, a project. The founder of Social Espionage. So you can check that out. You can Google all these things, right? Social Espionage. The founder, Dorothea, has worked with Oprah Winfrey, Ryan Seacrest Productions, SCOTUS, which is the Supreme Court of the United States, all that kind of stuff. I posted her screenshots where she's basically said, I have a gift that needs to be shared with the world. The gift has to be free for you guys. That's the difference. I'm not out here to try to bank a bunch of money. I'm already using my intuition to do something else right now. And when you guys hear about it, you're going to be holy crap. And the only reason I'm doing this other thing is because Anthony screwed me over so badly. And I told him, if you just do what I'm telling you to do and follow through, because he's not that smart as I am. And so I said, just do what I'm doing. Just let me help you guide through with the artificial intelligence and creating root structures of processing, so that way we can have correlation aspects of processing, which is kind of like a simulation of artificial intelligence. Stuff like that, but he couldn't understand it. And I think what happened is he got overwhelmed. A big thing on my end is nobody ever wants to hang out with me because I can read people within like a minute, so everyone gets freaked out. Like, what do you think of me? I'm like, nothing. I don't know, yeah, I don't know. So he was supposed to do all this kind of stuff. He didn't do any of it, and it's extremely disappointing. And I don't know who he's gone to and solicit money from. He got logos set up for me and everything. He showed them to me in the beginning, and I think that something else is happening. So he's the one that created Nursiversity, Nursiversity, like university for nurses. Nursiversity. It's featured in Forbes magazine, all that kind of stuff. But hopefully some things that I'm working on right now in regards to being able to finance what I'm doing, I'm hoping that will start to come out to fruition towards the end of the year. And once that all happens, and once other things that I'm dealing with in the background are all finalized, then I hope to be able to publicize what I'm doing, and to show you that if you use the type of intuition, the predator instinct that you have yourself, and you trust yourself, that intuition, you'll be able to be quite successful in what you do, as long as you trust what you do. So something pretty big. I won't announce it yet. in a sense, but people are just going to be like, wow. And it took me literally like 2.5 weeks to shift from that loser, Anthony, who's going to go to jail. He's facing 20 years in prison, federal prison, from that to shifting to like, all right, forget it. I'm just going to focus now. You don't believe me, I'm going to show it, right? So we got to show people stuff like this. And so that's what's going to happen is you'll see that hopefully in a bit. That was it's super disappointing though, because Bobby Joe didn't tell me. She admitted she knew. And here's the other thing too. Somebody told Bobby Joe and said, hey, do you know about Tony? Do you know about Tony Leonard? And oh, get this. He's using his daughter's profile, a child's profile for his photo now. That's how scummy he is. Like, who uses your female child? Like, oh my gosh. I hope he's in, anyways, I'm not going to say any stuff, but I hope he goes to prison. I don't know why, but she introduced me to him and said he was trustworthy. And this person confronted Bobby Joe a couple like last month and said, hey, you know about this? And she goes, yeah, we know about it. We believe him. How do you believe a guy credibly, like the Justice Department isn't going to go, we're going to charge you 23 times with crimes, that each crime you could go to jail for 20 years with 20 different people, right? Wire fraud is just not one incidental aspect, it's different people. So it's like, why would you trust him? Why would you trust him? Why would you risk your entire foundation on a guy who's going to go to jail for fraud? But that's Tales of Freedom. So, I helped save David, but at the same time, I'm now seeing something that is really disgusting. It's really, really quite sad. Okay, so I'm going to do a live tomorrow. I'm helping some rescues out in the East Coast. I do video sessions for them. They asked me to help with their most extremely dangerous or skittish or dysfunctional dogs. So a lot of times it's actually Wings of Freedom, not Tales of Freedom, but it's actually Wings of Freedom out of Connecticut. Phenomenal rescue. Kathy is the founder. Phenomenal. Just phenomenal. She is so dedicated to dogs and saving lives and making sure families are great. So if you know Kathy, you're out there in Connecticut, that area back East Coast, Wings of Freedom, not Tales of Freedom. Tales of Freedom is the bad one. Wings of Freedom is the good one. Wings flies away. Tales of Freedom is when you hear tales of bad things, right? Tales of bad things, Tales of Freedom. So Wings of Freedom is great. So they hire me, get me to do a bunch of stuff for them on video sessions. And all I'm doing is I'm showing people answers to what you guys already know. All the stuff that David did, right? Predictability of his behavior. It's not. It's just because I know him. It's like you finishing the sentences off your friend. That's it. You can look at physical structure. You can see the limping. You can see all this behavior, all that kind of stuff. You always want your dog to know that you're communicating with them. Just like a child. Just like someone sends you a text message. What do? You say, okay, I respond back. And if you send them a text message and they don't respond back, what do you say? Oh man, when are they going to respond back? I got to find out. So one of the things that I do, and because I'm in the parking lot so nobody can freak out on that, I'm going to back up and I'm going to start talking to David to let him know that I'm backing up. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hold it back here. And I'm going to bring a little bit of silence. Hi, silly boy. Hello, Mr. David. All right. Hi, silly boy. So, all right. So here we go. Okay. Okay, gonna go back, David. Go back. Go back. You're okay, David. Go back. Go left. Go back, David. Go left. Okay, stop. Good boy. And I'm gonna go straight. Go straight, David. Go straight. Okay, stop, please. Stop, David. Stop. All right. So what did that mean? So what I did is I'm teaching context. I'm teaching cogency. This is not your little, take a treat and run, right? This is actual intelligence that is happening. So what happens, what you've seen me say to my dogs, go to the RIGHT or go to the other side, right? This side or that side. You've heard me tell them that, and you can see it in the videos. You hear me say slow down and all that stuff. I'm changing the tone on purpose. I'm chewing it up on purpose so he doesn't hear the words. Otherwise it perverts and destroys the context that I've created with him, the cogency that I've created with him. So when I go all these directions, I'm just using core emotions. I use my regular tone of voice. Then he hears that and he structures it by watching through his field of vision what he sees when the vehicle moves. He understands direction. We don't want the dog to go, okay, well, if we say, go R, right? Go R. What's going to happen is he just has to do this. That's going R. That's it. Hi, David. See, he can hear the tone. He can hear the G-O-I-N-G word. He understands it. David, you want to go for a walk? Hi, silly boy. cogency structure. Sometimes you see your dog's head turn left and right. It's recollection, it's constructive aspects, it's comparative aspects. It's not this dumb thing like, I'm listening for sounds. The scientists are stupid. They are killing dogs with an ineptitude. The PhDs are dumb. Okay, so both my brothers have IQs over 160. My youngest brother learned 5 languages fluently in 6 years. He's crafted federal law, privacy law, internet law for the federal government. Daniel is his name, Daniel Chai. He's written for the Toronto Star, Globe and Mail, National Post, blah, blah. He's quite prolific. He has some very strong political ties, and he also is quite a boutique lawyer who works with some interesting clients who have quite a bit of money. So he's got a lot of intelligence. He was actually attending Osgood, and he represented Osgood in the debate teams that went up against Harvard and Yale. So he's got that structure. My other brother is, well, he's old now, is doing double minors in his mid-20s. I was beating him at the age of 11, occasionally at chess. So I'm just saying these things. It's not being braggadocious. It's just to let you know that that's the way I think. So that's why I kind of come off a bit impersonal and direct, because I'm not saying words as like, oh, this word means every. I'm saying very specific words that have really deep points in it. I can't bring too much inflection into it. It doesn't help David. He hears these things. He can hear his name. Okay, getting back to the thing, and I'm going to finish it off. The reason why I turn, again, we're giving him perspective, cogency. We're giving him circumstantial experiences. Every time David experiences, oh, okay, we're turning, oh, what? Okay. Then he understands where he sees. He can see the direction. He can see the vehicle turning. Then he comprehends that's what we're turning. Why do dogs bark when in the vehicle? Of course, because in their mind, another person could just come up and open the door. So then he's threatened because he doesn't feel safe and confident in the thing. A whole bunch of stuff that happens, right? If you understand how dogs are thinking, it makes sense, and all you got to do is slow down, right? Like me, I'm not slowing down ever. But if you slow down, you just use the words that you need. You watch the tapes, watch the videos that I'm doing, and you'll hear what I'm saying works 100%. And you'll see how I'm predicting behavior only because I'm just finishing his sentence. It's the same thing that you're doing. It's not magical. You can do it. I can show you how to do it. I mean, you will find your processing time will pick up. Your cogency time will pick up. You'll find you'll start noticing what other people are doing. And if you're a salesperson or working in that type of behavior, then you're going to do a lot better, because you're going to find yourself a bit more rounded at the bottom end of what you're doing, because you're no longer front loaded in your processing of, predatory behavior with people. You're actually bringing it back a bit so that you're creating a resident behavior, because now you're more aware of things from your experience with your other dogs. That brings, again, context of learning, right? So my theory of consciousness, blah, 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 I talked about it yesterday, is to make sure that we complete our structures of learning. So if we ask a dog to do something, if we ask somebody to do something, we have to finish the loop. We can't go and say, sit. I can say that word because I don't teach any of my dogs that word. None of them. I never let them shut down. They physically shut down when they do that, and I never want them to do that. None of them ever sit. I never allow my giants ever to sit. Never, ever. I don't let them run up the stairs. I don't let them run down. I don't let them jump in and out of vehicles if I can, because it stresses out their hips. I never use those words because those words shut the dog down. You'll never see two dogs about to attack each other and one sits down. The dog sitting down is forced to shut down. They see another dog at them, and you make your dog sit down. What happens is your dog is now compromised. Your dog will take upwards of 7/10 of a second to get from the ground up again to defend themselves. And they see the dog down there. To them, it's only, that other dog is only like 4 or 5 seconds away. In them, abstract processing of time, and that construct and the slideshow presentation aspect of it. And then he goes, okay, my gosh. Because the cogency structure is done like the aspect of time processing, right? How the dog is processing on like a slideshow process. So then the structures are going boom, 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 boom. And it flows so fast like a film. So what he's doing is he's doing comparatives of all his experiences, like us. If we see something, we see somebody, we start recognizing them and go, oh, do I know it? And we start patterning, artificial intelligence patterning. We start patterning what we see. Same thing what we do with the dogs. We look at the template structures of boop, 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 boop. The stuff that I see, you guys can do. It's not magic. It's a predator that you guys have. You got to embrace the fact that you're predators. If you don't accept the truth about yourself as a human being, you're never going to know who you really are. You're never going to understand other people if you don't accept the fact that you are a predator. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you are a predator, you see how the tone of voice has changed a bit, but it's still being thrown out hard, so that way I don't have any deeper bass tones, so I'm rounding it out on purpose so he doesn't catch it. There's nothing wrong with being a predator in the sense of you're using it for good, right? The power, you're using that to be able to destructure behavior of what your dog is doing. Destructure, right? The structure of their behavior is all clamped up. So what do? You got to destructure it. You got to peel away the layers. I say down training. The dog becomes a certain type of behavior. Well, then I can down train it by taking his behaviors that are extreme and predatorial, where he's trying to kill somebody, and bring it down. That's what it means, down training. If we use appropriate language, as simple as that sounds, down training, destructuring, stabilizing, dog's not angry but has codependency issues, then we have empathy. Then we have comprehension of what's going on. Then we have cogency. All these structures of consciousness, right? Consciousness, ego-driven behavior, then it causes the codependency, and then starts creating inter and intra relationships, and then they start becoming the aspect of realizing ego, right? Then you start knowing who you are because you looked at the relational aspect. Therefore, I am, as Shakespeare says. And what's the other one? What is the definition of the word God? I am that I am. Kind of like this, that, Popeye spinach thing, right? For the old people like us. But I am that I am. Same with therefore I am, as Shakespeare. Ego-driven behavior. So what Freud is talking about is kind of a little bit immature, but what Freud is talking about is that structure of psychology. B.F. Skinner, I just love railing on him because he's like a child. If you read his stuff, after the first 12 pages, you're like, the guy he's circular. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then if you read and I read into 24 pages, I forced myself to read longer. It's a circular. And he uses the big words so he doesn't look so foolish because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And if you read his book, and it's been like 20 years since I read it, if you watch, see, there's a dog right outside here. And David's cool because he feels safe. Hi, silly boy. You're okay, David. You're okay. The tone is deeper. You're okay, David. Hi, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. Good boy, David. You're okay. He's trying to self-regulate. You're okay, David. David, you're okay. Hi, silly boy. Hi, silly boy. So, anyways, I'll let you guys go. Have fun. I will do this tomorrow, Saturday. I'm going to do it on a regular basis. And if your name is Barry, there you go, man. All right. And I'll be talking about Barry hopefully in a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, with some exciting news. Or not exciting news, but just progress, I guess, on things that I'm doing on myself. And it should be pretty cool, actually. It's literally a phenomenal shift for what's happening. And it'll allow me to do a lot more things. But anyways, we'll see. All right, we'll talk to you all later. Have fun, enjoy yourselves. If you have any questions, like Jackie, you're asking about things about, trust, and not asking, you're saying things like that. All these kind of behaviors that the dogs are doing is completely, sensical. Remember the day? Oh, wow. Yeah, he was pretty dangerous. Okay. So, you know what? If you want, put it in the comments if you want me to discuss a particular behavior. And if I have it happening in one of my dogs, then I'll destructure it for you guys live. If not, then I'll explain it to you, and then you'll be able to understand what's going on. But like you saw, all the issues that happened with David just now, you can see the mannerisms and the behaviors where he's literally showing that he's afraid. Now you understand also using a retractable lead is really a superior product, isn't it? If you know how to use it mechanically and you practice and practice and practice, you'll be able to do it proficiently. If you think to yourself, I'm not taking my eyes off of my dog, you'll be able to do it proficient. If you have a trainer or behaviors that says the retractable leashes are not good and they're dangerous and they're stupid, you tell them you're a fool. If you don't know how to use a retractable leash, how are you going to deal with my dog? We want to quantify people's abilities as well. We want to get the fools like Dr. Rebecca Ledger and Dr. Ian Dunbar and Dr. Claudia Richter to wake the heck up, to get out of their Gucci shoes, and to stop recommending dogs to be killed for behavioral euthanasia. That's what they do. The ineptitude of Dr. Rebecca Ledger, of Ian Dunbar, is killing so many dogs. Bite level 6 dogs, so simple. You guys don't know what, right? Bite level 6 is Dr. Dunbar's scale of dogs' behavior. Bite level 6 is a dog that kills somebody or another animal. So easy to deal with. So easy. You don't need treats or medication. Dunbar talks about dogs as it. He refers to them as it. Watch any of his videos, he calls the dog it. So he has no emotional consideration for the dogs. So how can he actually have feelings and have any empathy or even cogency structure superior or even remotely close to what I have to be able to process if he's calling a dog it? How would you like that if someone said to you, yeah, I broke up with my girlfriend, she's a total it, right? Well, how would you feel if someone said that you're an it? So these people don't understand. I know Rebecca Ledger writes for the Vancouver Sun. Get this, okay? This is how pathetic she is. And I'm railing on this because she has recommended so many dogs to be killed. Pathetic. She doesn't know what the heck she's talking about. Go look up a dog named Blaze that is doing bomb and explosives detections program. Dr. Rebecca Ledger recommended that dog, who was formerly known as another name, to be killed. I saw her recommendation on her report. She actually goes, the dog should be rehomed or put to death. So she's playing both sides of the fence. That's how inept she is. When you have to play both sides of the fence and you can't give a specific description of your dog's behaviors and the issues and correct the dog's ability and downtrain and stabilize them, that means you're an inept person, Dr. Rebecca Ledger. She writes for the Vancouver Sun. So here's another proof of how inept she is. Completely inept. Do not ever use Dr. Rebecca Ledger. She is inept. And the people who work with her are inept. Like Rebecca Breder, the animal lawyer, she's inept. They have no comprehension of sentience. Please send this to them. Let them try to sue me. I will destroy them in court. They have no comprehension of what's going on. And the patheticness is killing dogs. Because when was the last time you ever heard of a PhD taking their certificate, their degrees, and making a dangerous dog calm? When was the last time you ever heard of taking some treats? Anybody has a dangerous dog and calming them down. Food literally elicits predator and prey instinct in your dog. It literally is evolution itself. And that's a dumb people. How come Rebecca Ledger is so dumb and useless? It's because she turned down Tonka from the Southampton Animal Shelter. 183 pounds, 3 feet 2 inches at the shoulders, attacked. David bit 16 people. Tonka, Walter, viciously attacked 16 people. He dragged a shelter worker into his kennel to kill her. Blood everywhere in the thing, right? You know, talk to the Wendy Carroll, the trainer out there. He has attacked a mother and adult son, sent them to the hospital. He's attacked a child in the face. The child needed plastic surgery. The parents accepted responsibility because they were warned not to let him buy the food. Is in his adoption papers, all that stuff. He went through 7 homes in a total aggregation of 5 months. He was only 19 months of age. He's got 3 active kill orders on him, including one by the Court of New York. And Dr. Rebecca Ledger turned him down and said he was too dangerous. And I said, after they told me that he went and tried to kill the shelter worker, I said, bring him here. I don't care if they say, we all understand if you don't want to take him. Bring him here. So they bring him out here to Seattle. He attacked me, grabbed me, cornered me in the hotel room, and I was wearing a heavy jacket, for those of you who have seen this story a million times, and he shook me. I'm almost 200 pounds like this. He literally picked me up and shook me, and then I got to drive him home. I just sold my old F450, a 2012 F450. Just sold it today. I'm really happy about that. You know, like turbo was gone. It was just been sitting there. And when he was in the vehicle, I was driving him back from Seattle. He was lunging at me. He was tethered to the back with a leather collar, a leather leash. And when he would lunge at me, and I'm driving a dually F450. It's got a pickup bed. It weighs about 10,000 pounds because I was working on a different business before. He would be able to shake it on the freeway trying to attack me. I could feel it moving. People would drive by going, why is this thing shaking? Are you guys doing, the naughty? No. And I'd have to roll down the window because they give me dirty looks and they like, oh, it's a dog. And then, of course, Walter's looking out there like, close the window. I want to attack you. No, he wasn't trying to. He was afraid. It's because he was partially blind and partially deaf from being beaten really bad by one of the 7 owners. He's been prong collared. He was shock collared till he was drooling so they could resource guard him. Train him not to resource guard. So she turned him down. Same with Claudia Richter. Because the Vancouver Sun reporter is not just going to go, oh yeah, okay, we're going to take your word, James. Okay, bye. We're going to do a front page article on you. They phoned around. They checked to make sure that I knew what I was doing. And they phoned around to see if anybody else would take him. Because if they did have someone else that could take him, then there would be no front page story. Again, look at the facts. You can downtrain dogs without using treats or medication, using your predator instinct, and you'll become a much more intelligent person. You'll become a much more cogent person, being able to see things, and you'll freak out your friends. So they'll freak out. And then as you do that more and more, then you can start picking up idiolectic on the way people write. So if you look at my Arf Arf Bark Bark and look under free help for your dogs, you'll see where 2 years ago I was reading people's profiles of their dogs and accurately describing their dog's behavior just from reading it and studying the photos. And people say, oh, you can't do that. That's impossible. The guy's a sham. It's a scam. It's blah, blah, blah. Really? So when was the last time your friend says, hey, you know, I met this guy on Tinder. You're like, okay, well, send it over to me. What does this guy look like? What is his description? So she sends over the guy over and you're like, okay, looking at him and you're like, you know, and you're a real friend, so you're not going to put the guy down. You're like, okay, well, he looks like he's a nice guy. He's kind of happy. He's got those smile lines, and look at the way he writes, kind of, right? Look at the way he writes idiolectic. Look at the way he writes. It kind of means this. I think it's kind of like that. So then you can identify what the behaviors of your dog is the same way. You can look at a person that you've never met before for your friend and see if she needs to be going out with this guy or not. You'll be able to tell him, blah, blah, blah. He looks like this. And she goes, yeah, I kind of thought so. You're thinking yourself intuitively, I wonder if he's good enough for her, right? That's it. It's not a jealousy thing. It's not a friendship. It's just like, you know, I hope, right? I want her to, right? You want her to feel treated well. So you can be, okay, I'm going to give you my best opinion, my honest opinion about him. Same thing when you look at a photo of your dog, right? If you look at a photo of your dog from 6 months ago and, you know, laying on the bed with the ball and they're like looking at you, what do you think? You're like, oh my gosh, you can see the smile lines on my dog. Oh, exactly. Don't make it such a hard thing to think that simplicity is possible, right? Don't. Everything is possible. And I can tell you, I'm going to explain to you guys in the future as these things progress, and something's going to happen next week that's off the, it's not going to be publicized or anything like. It's nothing big. It's just nothing at all, actually. It's just a course of procedure, but it just basically is going to allow me to kind of, you know, bring my work out a bit more, but by way anyways. All right, so I'll let you guys go. As I said again, and this time I'm definitely letting you guys go. If you have questions, put it down there. Oh wait, Brandy. Oh, Brandy, yeah, in Hawaii with the 2 Danes, and you guys moved from the one property right to the other one. Okay. Can 2 Danes that have a fight history get along in the future? 100%. Right? You guys see the videos of me with 5 dogs, 6 dogs, 7 dogs, extremely dangerous dogs? Yesterday, watch the video that I put up yesterday, Brandy. It's a live video, and I talk for about 20-30 minutes. I talk about tone, telling dogs to stop barking through the cogency structure of comprehension, right? Again, my dogs are smart. They're cogent. They don't come here as dumb dogs either. They have something inside them that allows them to survive and not be killed. There's a charisma inside of them. That charisma is a personality. That personality is a cogency. That cogency is the emotions. That emotions is the consciousness. That consciousness is the behavior. And that behavior is constructed from the physiological reactions to the psychological exhaustion of the inputs that our dog is being processed. That's it, right? So that's the structure that goes on. So I explain that all out to you guys through all these videos. The dogs can they can all get along. You have to be supervising 100%, not 99%, as I said before. If there's a 0.1% chance of your dog or dogs getting to an issue, you must be 100% vigilant. And if you think you're making a mistake, Brandy, with them, right? Immediately take them down in the point and give them a reset hug. Settle them down, like I said to you. I think we didn't talk on the phone. No, yeah, we did. So this is like 2 years ago, right? So yeah, we did talk on the phone. Yeah, that's right. Because you guys are going to get a fence and all that stuff on that property because you moved, right? Okay, so you've got to be able to supervise them where you're firm and you're loving and you're not a jerk. Because again, they look up to us to protect them. So if we get angry, holy crowd, I don't know what to do. So you essentially just separate them. You can keep them together if you can keep them physically apart. I mean, like if they're this close to you and you can keep them from attacking each other, then that's what happens. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll put my hand in between the 2 dogs so that if they attack each other, they'll bite me instead. That's correct. They will bite me instead of attacking each other. That's what I do. It's different. When I work at that scale, the true predatorial dogs, the dogs that really do want to kill people and other animals, the structure is much different because the complexity is extremely finite. It's extremely difficult to destructure behavior because the dogs have kept it in so tight and so talented to be able to only show you what they need to survive, right? That's pretty amazing. Cogency structures, right? Cogency consciousness.
just interrupt them, stop them from fighting, separate them, and don't wait for 20 minutes. Do it within a minute. I will definitely check it out. We're trying to get our two to be able to coexist without fighting. Oh, Maximus, right, doesn't give a warning. He just goes after Steel as soon as he sees him. So here's the aspect, is that it's impossible for, right, again, I'm very direct. It's impossible for a dog to be sudden or unexpected. It's absolutely impossible. They're predators, and they react within less than 1/10 of a second. They behave consequentially to their environment within 1/10 of a second. They have seen things of their field of vision processing, their hearing, cogency aspects. They're already prepared. They already have a pre-existing relationship with each other. So you have Maximus and you have Steel. They already have, right, one little tiff. They already have history. So it's not sudden. It's like, I'm pissed off. That's it. Like sister and brother. Brother and brother. Sister and sister. Siblings. They're going to fight. So what do? You have to stop them. If you don't stop them, they're going to get into a big row, and then you have to blow up at them, and you're like, I didn't want to do that. So you do the prevention now. You basically interrupt them and say stop. And they're getting wild or and often what's happening is more than likely Maximus is looking for you to give him attention, and it sounds like he's a high functioning dog, actually, and it sounds like, so I'm going to read your idiolectic here, all right? So I'm going to read you two idiolectics. I don't know about this Maximus dog. Brandyborn says, can two Danes that have a fight history get along in the future? So what has happened is Brandy has tried trainers, right? I know we talked about it before, but I suspect that you've tried a trainer in between since now and then, and you've said, okay, can we get along in the future? And what's happened is those people have said, well, I don't know. Essentially the answer. In other words, they weren't able to tell you what was going on. So you said, I will definitely check it out. We're trying to get our two dogs to be able to coexist. We're trying to get our two to be able to coexist without fighting. Maximus doesn't give a warning. He just goes after Steel as soon as he sees him. So what's happening is you're basically saying that you have tried so hard, you just don't know what to do. So you're not saying that you're giving up, because you're trying really harder. So what you've done is you've actually pulled back on the efforts that you've done, thinking, well, that's going to help more. So this is what I'm saying. Let me know if I'm right. Okay, so like I said, I'm reading your idiolectic. So I'm destructuring your what you're talking about. I'm understanding your personality and your family's personality by extension, by looking at the way that your words have been structured and positioned grammatically and syntax-wise as well. Then there's a rhythm structure in your thing, right? Just like when we talk to somebody, we can hear the rhythm, blah, 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 blah. We go, okay, they talk like this. So just reset them. So I don't know. I can't tell if you post if you commented or not, because this thing's delayed like forever. So the other part too is find out, what does Steel do when the interaction, the negative interaction happens, Brandy, right? What happens? What do you do? How do you allow Steel to feel safe? How do you allow Maximus to feel safe at the same time? Because what's happened is somebody is feeling as if you're not giving them an equitable amount of attention. Not more than or less than, but an equitable amount of attention. You want to say, Dave? Sorry. Okay. David's very patient here. So you want to give him an equitable amount of attention. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to have to let you go because it's not fair for David here. I'm just really mean here. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, any comments, please post here. And Brandy, I look forward to hearing what is happening. We can talk a little bit more next time, tomorrow. I have some phone consults that I'm doing for people. Oh, just so that you guys know, the other thing as well is, so I do private and video sessions and phone consults for rescue orgs that I have a relationship. I do it for free for phone consults. So I'll spend an hour, 2 hours with their really difficult dogs and work with them. If there's an issue, then I give them a significantly reduced rescue rate. It's significantly reduced. And so when I do my private sessions are $230 Canadian plus GST, right? I have to charge the tax. If you're across the border, then it's charging US dollars, but it's a different rate. Obviously, it makes in the accommodation for the exchange rate. And so what I do for people in either video session or in-person training. So you see what I'm able to do here. And tomorrow and the videos before, so basically there's no one in the world that can do what I can do. I can destroy anybody's argument. I've read white papers, I've read reference papers, I've read those little, I can destroy everything that anyone's ever said about behaviorism, because they can't do what I'm doing, because they don't want to do. But it's so freaking easy though, guys. So there's a dog that's coming out here. So what I'm doing is, as I'm paying attention, I'm realizing in my own head, I need to pay attention so that way David can hear that I'm talking towards the dog, because the dog is going to start tracking towards here, which means that I have to show David that I'm paying attention. So I'm going to look around, making sure that I'm looking around in other areas. Sound bounces off, right? Doppler aspects of that reverberation, blah, blah, blah. Like I said yesterday, and then I'm watching and tracking the dog here as I'm looking back here. Because what happens is it's a small dog, it's a couple, so it's harder to see the dog. So visually, David's not going to be able to see the dog until it's too late. And then he'll go, what the heck? I didn't see the dog because the other people were dressed in a certain way. Let me just see if I can show you these people here. They're really slow. Oops, there they are. Oops. Ah! So they're really slow, right? So they're coming around the corner. So you can hear them, I can hear them talking, David can hear them talking, David can hear the dog walking. We just changed anyway, tone, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I gotta go. All right, see you guys. Take it easy. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, let me know and I'll address it next week. Tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do this every day, and it's gonna be a lot different than it was before. You're gonna get a university course level comprehension of what's going on and seeing it in real time. No BS. Those silly Dr. Rebecca Ledger garbage where she's doing the treat training and standing there and talking to people for 45 minutes, wasting $750, and then spending 15 minutes saying your dog's too dangerous. Yes, that's right. That's why I don't like people who prey on despondent people. It's just horrible. All right, guys. Bye-bye.